So I recently took a trip over to Stoke-On-Trent to appear on Robert Salmon's podcast, fully dressed in my stab vest, and he decided to return the favour today and come over and appear on mine. So Robert's more commonly known as the builder investor, who's got over 30 years experience as a joiner, and then about 4 years ago decided to jump into the property space. He openly shares the challenges and struggles of making the transition from tradesman to businessman, and he even shares his experience within the property training space too. So we discuss our thoughts on the dreaded trolls on social media and how we as creators deal with them, and this was a cracking episode. Mate, thank you so much for making the trip over from Stoke-On-Trent.
No stab vest.
No stab vest, don't need that here, mate. Just, do you have one at home?
No, don't have one, no.
Well, you ought to get one.
Bought and bred there, so.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce yourself, mate?
Yeah, so I'm Rob, lovingly known as the builder investor, or not so lovingly sometimes. I'm a builder from Stoke-On-Trent, been in the industry now 30 years this year, and just do bits and bobs in property, construction, bit of development, you know, whatever I can really, just to make money. So
yeah. You're still doing both, building and investing?
Yeah, both, yeah. Hence the name, yeah.
Yeah.
Mate of mine gave me that name one afternoon on a Zoom call, and it kind of, it's like, you know, shit sticks, doesn't it? It's kind of,
Yeah. How do you find the transition?
What, between building and property?
Yeah.
I find it kind of meshes in quite well. Obviously, within construction anyway, 50% of it's, you know, domestic, so you're working on properties anyway. So it's kind of, that was the whole thing really. It happened like, a long story, but it's due to my old man passing and a bit of realisation. And it kind of, I just realised that I was doing all of this work on property for other people.
Yeah. And
not getting any of the end benefits myself, obviously.
Yeah.
So I've kind of realised these last couple of weeks that I'm meant to build things with my hands. I'm kind of, you know, I'm getting a bit older now, and I do want to pick and choose when I want to do it. But, you know, I've spent probably best part of 4 years trying to get off the tools. You know, because people tell you get off the tools, do more valuable tasks and what have you. But I've kind of come back to being on the tools over the last couple of weeks just because needs must. And I've actually realised I've actually missed some of it. Are you with me? There are elements that I don't miss. No one wants to be in a dirty ditch and the rain pissing down, freezing cold, digging. But, you know, I'm a carpenter joiner, for instance. That's my trade.
I thought you was a brickie for some reason.
No, carpenter joiner. I've probably laid more bricks than than most brickies, but yeah. So to put like a traditional style roof on, which is a bit of a dying art at the minute, not many people can do it. It's all trusses and things like that. And to stand back after doing something like that, you know, especially when the sun's shining like it is today, it's quite rewarding. Are you with me? And I think I've had that in me since pretty much 15 years old. Well, probably sooner. I was always knocking around the garden with hammer and nails and fixing things and digging ponds in the middle of my mum's grass and stuff like that. You know, yeah. So it's transitioned nicely, and it works nicely that I've also got a building team there whenever I need them. So they'll drop straight onto any property, any kind of development that we've got. We, you know, within reason. Obviously, if we're doing a job for a customer at that particular time, and we still have to get in line, you know. But obviously, I can take more guys on and work around it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So that then 4 years of transitioning off the tools, as you put it, like what was the tough bit?
It's you talk about it a lot, the difference between being a tradesman and being a businessman.
Yeah, 100%.
And over the last 5 years, I've even had thoughts of sitting there at night thinking, why can't I get it right? Why can't, you know, what's missing? And I've even a couple of times said, it's actually me. I'm the biggest block as me. Maybe I shouldn't be running the business. Maybe I do belong on the tools, and maybe someone should be running my business on my behalf, and I can still go and work on the tools, but still call the shots. Are you with me? But that is difficult because obviously you're with the guys on site, you become friendly with them, you become friends, and it's hard to manage and be a boss when you get to a certain kind of friendship level. Are you with me? So, yeah, the difficulty is taking my tradesman hat off and doing things in the manner of, you know, how I would want it as a tradesman, to looking at it in a completely different mindset, or, you know, from different eyes of being a businessman.
Yeah.
Rather than, and that's where I've always struggled. So, but I've got to the point now where I've kind of realised that if you want to be in business and you want to push hard and you want to make it and you want to make, you know, you want to get up there with the top businesses, multi-million pound businesses, whatever, I think it's more about the want. You've got to want it. It's not, you know, and you've got to have a reason to want it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all I want is the life I've already got. I have a really comfortable life up till I got into property. I did whatever I want, whenever I wanted, you know what I mean? Just left the lads and went off. And I kind of thought there was something missing in these last couple of weeks, the realisation of, you know, I've just explained to you off camera, I went through a merger with another company and that's gone a bit sour, and we've come back to being on my own, and all of this just kind of made me realise that I actually had what I wanted anyway. I just needed to keep it. So I needed something in place in order to be able to.
So you had what you wanted and went into a partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how often I see things like that, mate? And I don't think people, and like correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think people put enough or do enough homework or realise like what a partnership really is. And they jump into fucking bed with like anyone.
Yeah,
I
did my own work, and the guy, you know, I don't regret what I did because it was a really good experience. Are you with me? And I'm still friendly with the guy, you know, the guy I was in partnership with. Yeah. I'm still in partnership with another woman, but she's a silent partner. She's basically an investor. Yeah. She's put money into a company, and then we're now building a portfolio, buying bits of land, building properties. But she's effectively a silent partner, so she just leaves me to it. Are you with me? We check in every now and again, and we speak, and you know, she wants to know what's going on, things like that, which is understandable because she's putting a lot of money in there. Are you with me? But that seems to work a lot better for me than working alongside someone else. Are you with me? I think you get that almost like a decision fatigue, whereas two heads kind of not but they slow down the decision making procedure. And obviously you'll have two minds where you'll say, you know, you're good at this and you're good at this and do your own thing. But sometimes that can slow things down. Are you with me? You do have to let people get on with what they're good at rather than sticking your in and, you know, stuff like that. But it's difficult, isn't it? Business is not easy.
No, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, wouldn't they?
And I've been...
Do you think people try and make out that it's easy?
Some people do, yeah.
Yeah,
very much so on social media as well. Yeah. So, but I was forced into business. You know what I mean? In the 90s, everyone was under a 714 status, which is now CIS. And as an apprentice, I couldn't get an apprenticeship, so I had to be a self-employed apprentice. So it was a bit strange how it all happened. Are you with me? So from I think it was 17, 18. I've been pretty much self-employed or worked for myself or been in business since then. But no one ever taught me. You know what I mean? You don't get taught this in school, do you?
It's such a common thing with trades. Like I have a little a ditty when I'm teaching the trades growth summit that I take, and I say most tradesmen left school at 16, worked out that they were good with these and throwing shit on walls, and then they worked out that they could charge money for it, and they started doing that, and then. But no one told you there's a limit to that, is there? You know what I mean? You're trading your time for money. Yeah, exchanging time for money, trying to keep under the VAT threshold, doing all their own books, pricing everything up themselves. They've got no time with their families. They don't know what marketing means. They put out their photos of their work. They put it amongst their peers and not their ideal clients. I see it all the time. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see them make. They get into a tradesman's group or a peer group of tradesmen, and that's where they shoot their finished work.
But I think, like I say, this realisation these last couple of weeks, I don't think there's anything wrong with that with certain people. Certain people are meant to do that. That's what they're meant to do. Are you with me? They're meant to be tradesmen, and unfortunately, how the industry works, a lot of them are forced to be self-employed. Because you know, we do have
but even then, they've still got a business to run. You know, they still need to market, they still need to sell a service, they still need to, you know, manage cash flow, manage their books. Even though they're just a tradesman, they're still in business per se, and all the moving parts and all the facets of business still exist, whether they're on the tools or off the tools. Now, for me, if you're on the tools, you cannot run your business. It's impossible. It's like, that's like asking the
that's a full-time job, isn't it?
At Tesco to run Tesco. It's not an academic thing. It's because she's in the weeds, she's on the tools, as it were. Now, for me, that awakening when the trades do come and attend one of our trainings, that awakening that they have, it's almost, you can see a physical change in people's faces. Because they come with the mindset of, you know, you've just said it yourself, you've been in business 30 years. And they come with the mindset of, I've been doing this 20 years. This is a really common bit of feedback we get before someone comes. I've been doing this 20 years and I just know that there's something missing. Or I've been doing this 20 years and I just don't seem to be able to move forward. I've been doing this 20 years and I can't get it right. And they've always got no money left at the end of the month for them. No time left at the end of the day for them or the family. And it actually hurts me inside to hear it. It's
I think a lot of that is because
they're
trying to spend like a big business would. But
I think it's the opposite.
They're sole traders, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think it's the opposite. I think they're too tight with it.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
You know, penny pinching, that's the fucking worst thing that you can do.
Yeah, I've known guys which will drive around for a whole day trying to find 10 quid off a bag of a ton of sand or something like that.
That's so funny you say that. The one I use is just try and save 10p on a bag of cement.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah, and invariably it costs you money, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It costs you. In time that it takes you going and doing that piece of work, and then the time you've lost, the fuel you've lost, like the productivity you've lost, like you lose a lot of energy as well. It's it's a crazy thing. So you're making that transition from building company into investing in property yourself. Which do you like best and why?
I've kind of, like I said, I've had quite a bit of a realisation over the last few weeks, and you know, as you know, I had Andy Hubbard on my podcast recently, and I'm going to go and see him tomorrow from here. So. And I've kind of clicked in that I've always wanted to build my own houses, probably since, you know, before I started being a kid. It was always a passion that I want to build my own house or build houses, and that's what I did when I left school. I went for a company called Jones Homes and built houses for football players and things like that in Wimslow, Alderley Edge, real posh areas. And I did that, and I went into business, and I was working on other people's houses, doing extensions, loft convert, you know, just the general stuff. And when I got into property, my initial thought was, I'll just try and, you know, if I'm going to find investment, I'll try and find it to buy some land and build a property. And it kind of got knocked out of me by the property education world. That was almost a jump too far.
Really?
Yeah. Mentioning no names, but yes, a couple of real high-end, you know, real top of the game property educators were, I think it was due to sell their course, to be honest, having looked back at it now. But yeah, they were, you know, you need to do a couple of buy-to-lets and stuff like that first and ease your way in. But yeah, sitting down with Andy, he's basically, you know, he's done the buy-to-let thing and what have you, and he took that route and then realised that he should have probably jumped straight into the developing, are you with me? So literally, probably 25 minutes after he left, I got straight on the phone, asking around for land, and I bought a piece of land that same day.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, which is due to complete at some point this week. Yeah. So that'll be my first ever build for myself. You know, I've built houses, built hundreds of them, so for other people. So yeah, he had a bit of a saying that you should take your first year when you get into property or into entrepreneurship or whatever to actually figure out what you want to do first. Yeah. And I wish I'd done that, to be honest, because I have, you know, just done about 16 months in property seriously after the, you know, the old rich dad poor dad and stuff like that. And I'm not knocking it because I've learnt a lot and I've got a few houses under my belt that are, you know, cash flowing and obviously enough to pass on to my kids and things like that. But I wish I'd have gone straight into, I wish I'd have believed in myself more and thought that what I wanted to do was possible rather than being told. But you do, that's the whole point of education. You go and listen and you take things from people that supposedly know more than you. Are you with me? So I teach people how to do refurbishments on properties because I've been doing them for a long time. And I expect that I'll be passing on knowledge that's correct. And are you with me? Obviously, there are unscrupulous people that will say whatever it takes to sell you their course. So, and probably being a grown man, you should see beyond that kind of thing.
Yeah, why do you think that doesn't happen though? Because we hear of these things all the time.
What's that, education?
Yeah, well, people, I've invested and still continue to do so, invest in myself and into my business and in education and training. But when we hear the stories of people that have had a bad experience, let's say, or they didn't get what they expected.
Yeah. I don't think it was a bad experience, I just didn't get what I thought I was buying into. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And I don't regret it as such because I did learn a massive lot. Are you with me? So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think there probably was, in hindsight, a better route. Are you with me? And when you get to a certain age as well, time's more important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At 45 now, I want to retire at 50, ideally. So realistically, I've got 5-6 years. I need to do whatever I'm going to do and retire.
Mate,
so,
when I left the forces in 2007, well 2008, that was my goal, was to retire at 50. And I didn't go into business until I was 42.
Yeah.
And I feel I'm 48 now, and I feel like I'm just starting.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I will, because like I said, these last couple of weeks, this bit of epitome moment and realising things, and I think I'd be bored shitless.
That was my next question was going to be, what would you do if you did retire?
Well, I do a lot more things I enjoy. Obviously, I've got a half-built camper I've just pulled up in. I'd be doing things like I'd be building camper vans and riding ride mountain bikes for fun. So I'd do a lot more of that. That's fell by the wayside over the last year. In fact, if any of my mates are watching this, they'll say, you haven't fucking touched that bike in a year, are you with me?
Yeah.
So which is probably right, I've been out on it a few times. But
why is that though?
I miss it because I thought it was important to, you know what I mean? I read that book. I'll take you that to the beginning, basically. My old man died very suddenly after having the COVID jab. He was only 60, dead, fit, didn't drink, didn't smoke, and it shook my world because he became my best friend. We didn't know each other when we were younger. Mum and dad divorced and all that lot. Kind of got back in touch with him at 16, 17. Had a lot in common: cars, motorbikes, mountain bikes, anything with an engine strapped to it, basically. So we spent pretty much every weekend together. And when he died, a lot of questions fired off in my head. Are you with me? It was a hard time for me. And I saw this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and the only reason I say ready to listen to it, because I'm quite dyslexic, but I listened to this book on the way down to Brentwood to sit on this course with Jamie York. And I got there, I listened to the last couple of passages, and as a grown man, I actually burst out crying.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, I'm alright swearing on it. Yeah, I actually, broke down, because I was like, I'm 44, I've lived my life in the wrong way for 40 odd years. Totally the wrong way. Why wasn't I taught that? I was quite angry, you know what I mean? I wasn't taught this kind of thing in school, and because it was clear in school that I was never going to be academic. So they push you down that route. They go, right, you're pretty good with your hands. We all did woodwork at school and metalwork, and I always did really well. And then any of the other lessons I was crap at, because they didn't realise I was dyslexic. Didn't find out till in my 30s. So they push you down that route which is good, because I'm not complaining. I've made a good living out of it. But they don't teach you the other side, like you say, how to structure it, how to manage the business, how to do your taxes, how to, you know what I mean? They don't teach you anything really useful in school. You know what I mean? They don't even teach you how to catch a buzz. Basic, simple things that my kids come to me now, well, probably a bit younger. You know, where do I catch a bus from? Fucking a bus stop, you know. You think it's logical to us, don't you? But we don't get taught this kind of thing in school.
You raised some really good points, and I remember like the forces is like that, you know. So I left school and I joined the army at 19 after a failed car mechanics apprenticeship. That's what I did when I left school. And when I joined the army, I was in the army for 14 years, and they kind of, would I say indoctrinate? I think that's the right word. So you become so bubbleized. You get like that. And it's in a very insular community and way of life. And the army do a fucking lot for you. And when I left, I served all my time overseas. My whole career, apart from my last 2 where I came back to training regiment in England. And when I left from England. But I remember leaving and going and doing what the army call a career transition workshop, which is where they prepare you to leave and they try to write a CV and all the rest of it. And I'll never ever forget leaving and going. I moved to Scunthorpe when I left. I was in Twickenham at the time. I moved to Scunthorpe. That was my first town that I moved to. And I remember getting to Scunny, and I had toothache the one morning I woke up. And the medical centre was no longer there, available to me in the forces. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? And I genuinely did not know what I had to do. And it was like, where the fuck do I go? And I went to the hospital. And the hospital like, what you come here for? So I've got fucking toothache and it's killing me. Like, who's your dentist? I don't know. I've just come out of the army. Well, you need to get a dentist. And I had to ask an hospital, how do you do that? And we take these things for granted. And I could list off so many things that I didn't know how to do when I left the army as a 32-year-old man. You know, I didn't know how to book a doctor's appointment. I didn't know how to book a dentist appointment. I didn't know how to fucking tax my car. I didn't know how to MOT my car because I lived in Germany.
All these things, you should, again, it's the government again. You know, the government has something to do with the army, there's something to do with education. It's generally boiled down to what's put in that curriculum, are you with me?
I mean, we don't get taught any life skills, I don't think, at school. I remember buying my first car. In fact, it was a motorbike I bought first when I got back to the UK, and I didn't know how to do it. Like, they were sticking these papers in front of me and going, you need to send that off to DVLA, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is he on about? What's a DVLA? And I had no idea. And you feel so stupid asking.
People think they assume that you know, don't they?
It's
I worked in education for a while. I worked for a small company called PM Training, which was like a local FE college. So it's just training, 16 to 19-year-olds in apprenticeships, and so it's within construction. And the first thing I used to do with the kids when they come out of our school, I used to say, who's the Prime Minister? Honestly, you'd be surprised that probably 98% of them didn't even know who the Prime Minister was at that one particular point in time. And it's just simple things like that. And then we had to physically go and show them how to catch the bus and things like that. So,
would you know how to catch a bus now?
I probably manage, now, but I haven't caught one for a long time.
I haven't caught a bus since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, my kids catch them all the time.
I'd be able to find the bus stop now. Would I know what bus was coming at what time and where it would go to? Probably not.
Well, years ago, they were on the post, weren't they?
Yeah, they used to be on the post.
It's all on an app now, I think. Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just, you're not taught what you need to be taught, and I think that's a massive part in it, and that's where it all stems from.
You've also got change as well, though, right? Like my old man. My old man's, what is he? He's in his I think he's 70 now, ish, maybe early 70s. If he goes to a car park these days, you can't just put coins in a meter anymore. He doesn't know how to do it, so he won't go. He just don't go. I say, you need an app, Dad, and he'll go, what? Like, what does that mean? And he's ain't got a clue.
But that's ostracising people almost, isn't it, by not telling them.
But he's too embarrassed to ask and too proud to ask.
But shouldn't have to, though, should they? Should be.
Yeah.
It's the same in the building industry. I mean, we had an instance not so long ago now. We had a change in the building regs where cavity size went up from 100 mil to 150, or you used alternative insulations to get down to a certain U value. Nothing was announced. You were just expected to know it. Are you with me? So we had a major change, and the amount of people that were in the builders merchants say, I've built a wall the other week and that tear it all down because it wasn't to regs, because regs changed overnight and things like that. But when they do these things, they also have a knock-on effect as well. So they don't think, they think, well, we'll change this regulation for the better, gets U values down, stops heat loss, it helps the environment, whatever. That's the bit that they look at. Going back to me being a businessman or a tradesman, the bit that the tradesman looks at is, right, 150mm cavity. Have you thought about that the window boards are now going to be wider? Have you thought that the soffits are going to be wider, that the pitch on the roof's going to be slightly different because it's coming down and catching the fascia board, and all the logical things that are going to affect their part? And then the business owner, he's looking at it in a totally different light. Right, how much is 150mm insulation compared to 100mm? Are you with me? What we're talking about, tie bars, they're going to have to be longer, are they going to cost more money? So, and then ultimately, that cost, who's going to see it? Gets passed on to the end user, doesn't it? So it's the customer. So the people that they're trying to help, they're trying to save money by keeping the heat in the house on energy bills, because apparently energy is so expensive now. So I'm not going to even get into that, but they're actually making worse off by the fact that they're going to have to pay a lot extra for have it built in the first place. So
Totally. I'll tell you one thing I did want to talk to you about, and I've seen you experience it, and I get a fucking lot of it, and that's the mainstream call them trolls, right, on social media. Like people that give people shit in the comments for like no good reason other than they just had a fucking bad day or whatever it is. Like when you first started putting yourself out there, as it were, and you started becoming a bit of a creator, creating videos and things like that, how did you first receive those comments, those types of comments?
To be honest, I've only just started getting them.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, because I've been pushing quite hard on social media. It comes from the mountain bike background anyway. That when I found out, when I got into property, that I was going to have to be quite prevalent on social media, I was quite happy about it because it's the bit that I enjoy.
What, the trolling?
Not the trolling, the actual creating.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're really good at it. I love watching your videos.
I really love it, and I enjoy, which is part of the going back to being able to choose what you want to do. Yes, I sometimes want to be on the tools. If I want to pick my phone up and make a reel, ultimately that's my decision. Whereas if I was solely on the tools working for someone and you picked your phone up to make a reel, you'd get a bollocking from your boss. So it's I want to be in that place where I can make that choice. Yeah, but going back to the trolls and stuff like that, I get worse stick from the lads on site.
Really?
I think, being in the building industry, you've got a thick skin anyway.
Yeah, true.
So, but a lot of it's crap, and you can generally give them a one-liner back that will generally shut them up, because a lot of them don't know what they're talking about. And then the other ones are exactly like you say. They've basically, it's either coming from a place of jealousy because they've got a platform that they're not getting so many views on, and they you know what I mean, or they've had a bad day or something like that. So I think it says more about them than it does me.
Oh, well, it does, yeah. And we all know that at a technical level, right?
Yeah,
but still sometimes you think
it will get to you sometimes.
You fucking prick.
Some people can be personal, can't they?
Yeah, totally.
But I just look at it and go, sound a comment, that's put me up on the algorithm a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to get Samuel Leeds on the podcast because he gets fucking so much shit on. Like I've never seen. I've
emailed him and asked him to come on mine, but I've had no reply yet. So
we've had like when I watch how I don't know if it's him or his team that manages his comments. I imagine it's him, knowing his character. But the stuff that people fucking write to him and about him, it's fucking vile.
He must have one of the thickest skins going.
Is it that though?
I don't know. Either that or he doesn't see them. I don't know. But some of the comments that come on there that are by him sound like they're from him.
They do sound like him, yeah. So, and I think he's one of the people that still manages his own socials because he wants to.
I mean, a lot of people give him a lot of stick and don't like what he does. I mean, I've got my reservations with some of the stuff that he does say, but I've got nothing against him. At the end of the day, he's a businessman, he's making money. And I'll take my hat off to him. He's done well for himself, and he'll do whatever he needs to do to make money. And he does help people, you know what I mean? He'll help a lot more people like who have got literally nothing. Are you with me? Whereas a lot of the educators are not interested in the people that have got nothing because they can't take anything from them in the way of fee. Are you with me? So, yeah, he's an acquired taste, I suppose. People like him, people don't. But yeah, there's no excuse for just giving him shit for the sake of giving him shit. Are you with me? It's, yeah. It's got to be deserved, I think. And half the time, well, to be honest, probably 98.9% of the time, it's not, is it? So, like you say, it's probably someone who's just had a bad day, or I mean, argument with the missus or whatever. There's no excuse.
It's still like, even though I get it, I get every single day. I get something. Something. From
I would imagine you'll get a lot from tradesmen as well, because they are stuck in their ways, very stuck in their ways.
And you know, sometimes it could be the same comment, right? Someone could say, "You don't know what you're talking about, you fucking dickhead. You've never been on the tools," or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And like that same comment could come on a Monday, and I could laugh at it. The same comment could come on a Tuesday, and it could hurt me and piss me off. The same on a Wednesday, and I could respond aggressively. The same on a Thursday, and it could upset me. Like, it's the same comment.
Yeah. And see, I've got a 30-minute rule. I will not respond within 30 minutes. I want to give myself a chance to think about it and respond accordingly. If I am going to respond at all, are you with me?
Yeah, I mean, I generally don't respond, but a lack of response doesn't change the fact that we've still had an internal reaction to the comment, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, people might think that because I don't respond, that it doesn't affect me, but sometimes it does. Sometimes I just go, what the fucking hell am I doing this for?
You're only human at the end of the day. We've all got feelings. We've all got, you know.
And people think that, you know, because you've got a platform and you've got an audience, people generally think that they can say what they fucking like.
Yeah. I've had that, actually. Someone said that to me. Because that I am putting myself in the limelight, I am setting myself up for it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty certain my missus said that to me. You've put yourself in that situation. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's not an argument against it. Surely, you know what I mean?
It's not. The one I get is it's part and parcel. It's part. You've got to expect it. No, I haven't. I've not got to expect shit off other human beings just from me sharing a message.
It's one of them. If you don't agree with what someone says, scroll on.
Scroll past,
Scroll on and go and find someone who you do agree with, you know, and follow them. But yeah, it's not a nice world, is it?
It's not.
And it goes back to kids and education and stuff like that. We've got this new thing now, social media, and yes, it's very good. It's made our lives quite a lot easier. Especially in the world of property, like seeking investment and things like that. It's like, you know, it's radicalised it. But when you go back to children now using it and, you know, having been involved in it and stuff like that, there's no education towards it at all. And there's people dying from it, suicides and all sorts through these comments. And so, and it takes something like a documentary to be on the television or something like that for anything to be done. So boils back again to our lovely government that we've got. So you touched there that social media has been great for raising investors and things like that. It has for me personally.
Is that why you did it on social media?
The lady that is now my partner,
let's call her Mary, just for
well, I'll name her Angela. Her name is. She's got no problem with me naming her. But she basically watched me. I think she said 8 months on Facebook. Watched what I was doing, watched me posting, and then all of a sudden, I think I posted something about a particular deal. She got in touch. We had a coffee, we had a bit of back and forth. I showed her what I was trying to do, you know, spreadsheets and all that, and presented things to her. And yeah, before you knew it, she was my partner. She'd put a substantial chunk into the business to allow us go away and build a portfolio over the next 5 years. So the way I saw it was, I was getting a bit frustrated because I had a thing where I said, right, I'm going to post now every day for a year, and I'm going to stick to it. And I did 365 posts, like consecutively, but not just on Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn. And it was hard work. And I got to the point where I think I got to just shy of a year, and I was getting a bit despondent because I wasn't really getting what I was looking for. Are you with me? But what you don't realise is it's a very slow burner.
Oh, mate.
You know what I mean? You've got to put a lot in to get something out.
Yeah.
And you can't just go on asking neither. You've got to give some kind of value. So
yeah. Do you know how many times we get a message from people on Facebook, on the business page, and it'll start with, been following you for years, and I've never seen their name come up.
Yeah.
It happens so, like, every day at least.
Yeah.
And even more regular than that. That's what the message always starts with. Yeah. Been following you for years and not reached out.
Going back to the camper vans, I've got a YouTube channel where I've got all my mountain bike stuff on there. I used to do a bit of videography for a mountain bike brand, and I build the camper vans and I put them on YouTube, and that's where they've all sold. And every one of them, that story's been said. Yeah, I've been following you for years. I saw you got this van. I thought I'd message you to see if you were selling it.
It's mad. And you've never seen them like anything?
No, nothing.
Comment on anything?
No,
yeah,
really,
that's been the same for me, that.
So
really, really common.
It just shows you how many people are watching.
Yeah, I used to know a guy, what was his name? Really skinny guy. Started putting a bit of timber on now, actually. Ben Walford. Have you followed him?
No.
I connected with him about 5 years ago. I actually spoke at one of my events a few years ago, and he had a message that if someone's liking and commenting on your content, that's them investing in you, and the money comes later from the people that aren't doing that, because it's a different type of investor. I'm not sure how on board of that I am with, but it does make some sort of logical sense somehow, somewhere.
A lot of people are commenting just because that's what the algorithm tells you should do. If you want to build a following, if you want to build presence and get that know, like and trust, part of building that platform is commenting on other people's posts. So you will see, a mate of mine, he's another podcaster, you'll see a little fire or clapping hands or something like that on everyone's post.
I know what you're talking about.
I know. Yeah, Callum, yeah.
How did I know that?
Yeah. And
you literally just described him.
He's not doing it because he's following people because he's interested. He's doing it for his own means, are you with me?
Yeah, I get it.
There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I do it myself.
Yeah.
But
I posted about you this morning and he did exactly that in the comments.
Yeah, well,
I
love Callum, he's ace.
Yeah. He's a Scouser, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I literally watched a podcast of him, and I forget who it was, another Scouse guy as well, who was talking to up at Prosperity last weekend. Couldn't understand the word they were saying because we were both Scouts, so I keep rewinding it, and there's an old word, isn't it, rewinding?
Yeah,
we don't see that anymore. So, but yeah, it's a funny old world now,
Are you seeing these folks that are in the limelight in the on social media at the minute that have had over their investors?
What, like scam them?
Yeah.
I see quite a bit of it, and then I've seen you posting about a couple of con artist, builders as well, and we hear quite a lot about that. Are you with me? So before social media as well, you get it.
Why don't you think that people talk about? I've got my own theory. Why don't people talk about this more often and more openly? I've heard a couple of people's theories. I'll just share a few of them.
Builders don't want to talk about it because it highlights the fact that they're out there, and that makes it more difficult for them to bring work in.
And I do understand that thinking.
Yeah, that's like probably one of it. But they still talk about it among themselves.
But with builders, what I think we find is there's a perception across the UK where there's so many rogue traders and so many cowboy builders, and it's really common, and we hear about it all the time, and they're always in the press. And I call bollocks on that purely because, let's say we see a cowboy builder story, I don't know, let's say there's one a week, and be generous, there's one a week in the press, so 52 a year. Now if there's 52 con artists in the year, 52 rogue builders out there that we see in a year, how many non-rogue builders are there?
Millions.
Exactly. Yeah. But the millions are never in the press, are they?
No.
It's just the 52 are. So I don't believe that there are too many cowboy builders out there. I think there's too many reports of cowboy builders out there and not enough reports of good builders out there.
Yeah, I've noticed a bit of a pattern I have. Over the last 30 years, you see it come in waves. And it's
you do, that's a good point.
It's generally down to the fact that you'll get a lot. Take COVID for instance. Everyone went out, they all furloughed.
Yeah.
Oh, if I can buy a van now, get my tools in the van, I can set up myself. And you'll notice we've had quite a bit of a wave at the minute of rogue traders, and it's due to the fact that people that shouldn't really be in business trading or running a building company have decided they're going to run a building company, and they get in, they're in above the heads due to the fact that they are tradesmen, they don't know how to run it properly. Sometimes it's generally not their fault, they just get in above the heads.
Mate,
are you with me?
I totally agree with that. I don't think anybody sets out of badness. There are the odd few, of course.
Yeah, there will be a few. That
have you heard Richard Nichols' story?
No.
So he was on the podcast last month. Mate, he did that. He's a HMO sales expert. That's his background. Estate agent for HMO selling. And he was getting in London, and he was getting people coming to him and saying, "Oh, can you do me some building work on this HMO? I'll buy the HMO, but I want an extension." Blah blah. And he decided, "Fuck it, I'll set up a construction company." And he ended up in a fucking world of pain. Went to prison. He got served 3 years.
Right, yes, I have heard of him, yes. He was at one of the...
Wait till you listen to the podcast episode, unbelievable. Mate, he was selling property training to the prison guards for tins of tuna. that is just fucking class. I love that.
That's a proper entrepreneur.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So, but going back to investors that scamming people, I know we touched on cowboy builders there, but people that are bringing investment into their business with zero intention of repaying that. Like, I think we was talking about why people don't shout about this. Now, I've heard a couple of theories. The one theory being people don't shout about it because they're still hanging on to some hope that they're going to get it back. And if they've been the one that called it out, they've got no chance and they won't be top of the pile. That's one theory I've heard. My own personal theory, my own personal take of why we don't do this is because of what we've just been talking about with trolls, and nobody wants to be labelled as a troll. And when you go out and you might say, let's say Bob Jones is someone that ripped me off. Bob Jones is a fucking scam artist. Like, I'm now going into that troll space by doing that. That's what I think people are resistant to do.
I think a lot of it's down to embarrassment as well.
Yeah. Embarrassment of being ripped off or not checking it out?
Not doing enough due diligence to actually get ripped off. But let's face it, you can still get ripped off.
Exactly, man. I was just going to say that. Like, we talk about this. I hate that phrase, due diligence. I hear it all the time. But what does it mean?
Homework, basically. Do some homework on people.
I know one person in particular, and I have to hand on heart say, we were really, really good mates. And he has used his profile to scam money out of people, and he's fucking done a runner with it all. And I'm okay saying that openly on this podcast. I don't give a fuck. Now, no matter how much due diligence you did on that guy, on paper, on his social profiles, you would never find anything that would intimate that you were going to get robbed. Like, I trust him to look after my kids.
Do it purposely are professionals. They make sure that they're squeaky clean that they come across.
Yeah.
So, but I think it boils down to the old lady being scammed. She doesn't say anything because she's embarrassed that she got scammed. Are you with me? I think that's probably a big proportion of it. Pure embarrassment that it's happened to you, kind of thing. Are you with me?
You've been scammed.
So
in your life?
Up till now, no. But I did. Literally 3 days ago, I came home to a letter saying your application for the loan has been denied. And I'm like, what fucking loan? So I rings this company and he says, yeah, we've stopped this application because the address on the ID didn't match up with the address they give for you. And I was like, I haven't applied for a loan, are you with me? So I looked on me, Credit Karma, look at my credit file. Someone has applied for a loan in my name and my address for $8,000 or something like that. And there's a phone number attached to it. So I rings this number. It's just some, foreign guy that can hardly speak a word of English. Probably not even in this country. But yeah, I've come close a few times. But luckily, touch wood. Where's the wood?
Easy. Yeah, I got scammed a few years ago. I had an Audi A4 Cabriolet it was when I had a job. So it would have been 7-8 years ago, maybe. No, it's longer than that because it's before my wife. been about 13, 14 years ago. And I sold it on, I think it was eBay. I think I sold it on eBay. And I was saved by my private number plate that I had on there. So this guy came to pick the car up, and he was due to pay me when he collected it. No, sorry. It was on finance, and he was going to pay my finance company when he came to get the keys. So he came along, he rang the finance company while he was there, and he settled the balance before I could let him take the car away. So he's rang up, he's paid the finance company, and then he's there ready to go. But we'd done a little side deal for the plate, for my number plate, and it was 250 quid cash for the number plate, and he didn't bring any money with him, this lad. He's going, I'll bank transfer it when I get home. And I was going, do you think I'm stupid? Yeah, that's not happening. 250 quid cash, or you're not having the car. And I'd already paid the finance company. So I was hanging on to the keys and said, look, I'll wait till you can go and get some money. Anyway, he had to fuck around, and he went down to one of these money telegram places, and he got the cash wired to him, and he brought it me, gave me the cash. That was it. Happy days, took the car, and he was away. About a month later, I get a call off the finance company saying that I still owed this balance. I think it was about 16 grand, if I remember right. 16k owing on it. And I was like, no, this guy rang up and paid. I had you on the phone, and you told me I could give him the keys. And he went, yeah, but the credit card that he's paid with is stolen. So the credit card company had gone back to the finance company and recovered the money. So they're now sat holding the baby, and they tried to put the finance back on me. And I shit myself. I thought, they're going to fucking do me here. And a few emails backwards and forwards, and, in the interest of fairness and all the rest of it. And eventually they let it go. But I could have been had there quite easily.
See, I don't understand. How's he going to sell a car with owing finance on it?
Well, it's not, because it's been settled, hasn't it? He doesn't have any finance on it. I had the finance on it. So they would have had to just write it off.
Right.
They'd have just had to write off that loss.
Right. I suppose it's their fault, really, for taking a credit card payment without checking it was, stolen first.
Totally. It took ages, though, for him to write to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and with it being a credit card, I would imagine it'll have been insured as well, won't it? Credit card wise. That's why we always try and use them, don't we? So.
Yeah. What's next for you then, mate? What you not today, as in life?
Basically, I've got 3 quite big jobs on at the minute with the construction company. The idea is now, the plan moving forward, my 5-year plan's changed basically over the last couple of weeks, and it's basically finish these jobs off. I'm trying to not take any more work on unless it's very lucrative. It's got to be, and I mean, I've got double.
I'm going to hold you to this.
Yeah, and I've said that to me, so I've said it to my wife as well. To allow us basically to look for land, buy land, build property, sell it. That's all I want to do from now on. And I've spoke to the lads that work for me. I've basically kept, I think it's 5 of the best lads have come over with me. The ones that have been with me for years, couple are related to me. So, and that's now my strategy. I want to, I will still buy property because it is a good place to put your money. You know what I mean? It's a safe place to put your money, I suppose. So, although some would argue that you can have anything taken away from you,
you know what I mean? Yeah, even property.
So, even property, So, but that's my moving forward. That's what my plan is now. So, hopefully that will happen over the next year or so.
Yeah.
So I think I've had a bit of a year where I have been basically just treading the board, seeing what's possible, doing things, learning things, meeting people like yourself, and and some of the big hitters like Danny Inman and Jamie York, and learning from them. And I am one for education. I very much like to learn, and I'm not afraid to say that there are people out there that know more than me, regardless of age or anything like that. My kids regularly at 19 years old teach me things because they,
Mine's 10 and she teaches me stuff.
I'm not one of these ones, because that's the problem with a lot of these trolls, or a lot of people that will give you shit from the building industry. They don't want to be taught. They think they know it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been doing this 25 years. Everyone's still learning. So I'm not afraid to take what other people are doing and learn from it. So it's part of the reason I'm here. You know what I mean? I come and chat with people like you because ultimately I'm going to get something from it. Whether it's exposure or I'll learn a lesson or, you know, I'm going to go and sit in with Andy tomorrow. A lot would say, you've been building 30 years, what are you going to learn?
Mate, that is so, do you know when people say that stuff, I fucking shake my head.
Yeah.
You'll learn so much off Andy.
I know I will.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's a massive difference between building a house and developing a house for you for profit. Like you've built hundreds of houses, like you said, on the tools for someone else.
Yeah, the actual building the house itself, probably do it with my eyes shut.
I remember going to, and a couple of years ago I nearly bought HMO. Me and my building background, I'd seen the building and go, yeah, I can fucking do any of this, like physically. But what did I know about HMOs? Absolutely nothing. So I reached out to Danny Inman, and I said, look, mate, I need you to mentor me for a year while I get this project over. I need you to help me plan it and get the right room sizes and all the rest of it. And he was like, why do you need like help off me for that? It's because I've never done a HMO for me before. I've built them for other people, but not for me. And like to come to the design and know that it's in the right place and all the rest of it and it's going to work, I need your help. Yeah,
none of us know everything. And like you've just said, things are always changing as well.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Regularly we'll go and sit with like suppliers because materials, things change and how they need to be fit changes. So totally, we'll go on days where we, you know, I've been to Germany before to learn how to build.
We're always students. We always are. Yeah, I mean, during my life, I've been in like really good physical condition. I've been a strong man, and I know how to train. I know how to diet. Someone with that type of background like me, I've just hired a 24-year-old personal trainer for 12 months. Like, and he was on a call with me, going, like, why do you need me? And I'm going, because I fucking need a coach.
Sometimes it's about accountability as well, isn't it? It is easier to do something when someone's shouting at you and telling you to do it.
Yeah, I mean, is it shouting? I mean, you'll see with Andy tomorrow.
When you get home tonight, if them dishes are not done in the kitchen, if your missus asks you to do them, you've got more chance of doing them than you have by not doing them yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people have got different teaching styles and different delivery. I had Kevin Wright on the other day. Kevin's also a trainer as well as me, but our teaching styles are completely different. I'm really animated, as you can see. I'm really energetic when I teach, and I walk up and down, and I'm running up and down and running around, and I'm hands all over the place. And Kevin's just, he's just chilled out and relaxed. And
different people will relate to different styles.
Yeah, that's exactly what Kevin said. Like, I'll attract people that are like me because they see themselves in me, and Kevin's the same. He has. Kevin's students are very calm and by nature.
So do you believe in that law of attraction? Do you think it's...
I do, but I don't like the phrase.
No.
Because I think it's a buzz phrase that people use.
There are a lot of buzz phrases, aren't there?
Yeah, that's one I don't like.
Due diligence is one.
Due diligence is another one.
It's an American phrase, let's face it, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, what is law of attraction? You know, it's basically... It's... the things around you that...
Well, you're supposed to get back what you put out, you know what I mean? Your outputs are supposed to mirror by your inputs, aren't they?
I believe that. I just don't like the phrase. Like the phrase. I think it's just one of them. Manifest is another one I don't like. It's another word, phrase I don't like.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with quite a lot of some of it because it's all circumstance depending. You know what I mean? You could try your hardest to do something at any one particular time, and if it's just not going to happen at that particular point in time, no matter how hard you try or what you put out, what your outputs are, sometimes it's just not meant to be. Are you with me? Whereas sometimes you can just wake up and something just happens, pure luck. So it's pure circumstances. Are you with me?
Or is it pure luck, or is it just that's when the result comes after consistent effort?
No one ever knows, do they?
No, I don't think we do know.
No one will ever know.
Same as rising damp.
Yeah.
We can all have an opinion.
Oh, Jesus Christ, and thoughts about that.
No, we can all have an opinion on it, can't we? But none of us ever actually knows.
Yeah. Well, there's scientists that think they do, don't they?
But there's such a thing on both sides.
Yeah, there's such a thing as capillary reaction, in my opinion.
Is there? I don't think there is.
Whether there is, I've seen it happen. more so in windows than things like rising damp, you know, and walls and tiles and things like that. I've seen it in windows. As a carpenter joiner, you don't see it nowadays because everything's PVC or aluminium, but the old wooden windows had capillary grooves in, and it was to stop water being sucked down and backing under. Yeah. And I've seen them not go in, and I've actually actively watched it happen.
Yeah, I've seen it in that situation.
So capillary action does
lead
exist.
As well, when lead overlaps lead and you see it, I've seen it go up.
And you can see it with a piece of toilet paper, you know what I mean, and a piece of water, but does that happen in brickwork or not?
Yeah, bricks aren't made of toilet paper.
Who knows?
Which is my common bit of feedback when I hear that. Yeah, it's you know, I don't think we'll ever categorically and factually know.
Again, that boils down to people trying to make money out of it.
Oh, I totally agree.
You know what I mean? If it's an easy option to cover it all.
The opinion I have is a strong one, and it's very far.
Well, mine's very similar to yours. I think it's bullshit, to be honest, and it's designed to sell products.
I do.
And if you actually speak to the people that work for these companies that sell the products, that's not what they're actually marketed. It's not what they're aimed for. Are you with me?
Yeah.
You know, tanking's designed for things that are built beneath the ground.
Yeah.
So it's not designed for terraced houses. Where you're going to trap the moisture in and you're going to have a problem later on. So.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, that's a total different discussion altogether, isn't it? Yeah. Probably one that a lot of people won't understand anyway if you're not in the industry.
So. We had two lads from a lime plastering contractor, or lime worker, should we call him, on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. And you won't believe this, the two lads, they were called Rogan, was one of the names, and the other one was called Josh. I thought they were pulling my pisser when they turned up and introduced themselves. No. I was like, nah, you're fucking having me on. No, Rogan and Josh. Yeah, good lads, that'll be a good episode when that comes out. We got into rising damp and lime and what it's all about. It's good.
That ultimately half the problem. People using the wrong products in the wrong places. Using modern methods in old construction. And you try and tell people this, and you know, you might as well be talking to that wall kind of thing. Are you with me?
Just do what's cheapest.
Yeah.
Well, I can do what's cheapest, but it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Then it's your fault when it all goes wrong and it comes back.
Yeah. This is the old thing again. You know, the reason I want to get rid of customers and I want to build my own properties is we've done a lot for landlords, investors, if you want to call them. Which I think there's a massive difference between a landlord and an investor, but they're tight, you know what I mean? Ultimately, they're running a business, and if they have to maintain things or refurb things, you're cutting into their profit. A lot of them are doing it on the side, so it's topping up their wages. So if you cut into that, all of a sudden they're short 1 month. They see that as, you know, it's a bit of a bugbear for them. That's why they want it as cheap as possible. So they, in my opinion, are even worse than general customers that are having it done to their home, that are not as bothered about, they are bothered about the price, but ultimately they just want it looking nice and they want a nice finish, and it's not about how much they're going to get when they sell the house in 10, 15 years time. Are you with me?
I have only ever met one landlord that longevity of his property mattered more than price, and he didn't give a fuck how much it was, and he literally gave over his credit card to his build team and said, you just get what you need on that.
I'm pretty much the same. I'd rather have a maintenance proof property, which
I won't say his name or everybody will go and tap him up.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's local as well.
Get your card out. But yeah, I'd rather have something that's going to stand up to the test of time and give me as little hassle as possible. You're always going to get some bits, you know, people are living in it at the end of the day, and but yeah, I'd rather have something that's going to, you know what I mean, rather than just patched up just to get people in there and then you're going to have the issues, because you're going to be held accountable to sorting them issues a lot more when there's tenants in there than, you know, when it's void or when you're trying to rent it out, when you just want to make it look pretty on the face of it kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Well, mate, thanks for coming over. I have thoroughly enjoyed that.
No worries.
We were talking before you came on, your first builder. Or was you here when we had that conversation?
I can't remember.
Yeah, your first builder we've had on, which has been good. No, I've enjoyed it, mate. Thanks for coming across.
Yeah, not a problem at all, mate.
Safe trip down to see Andy.
Yeah.
And give him my best when you do.
Going to get across there and see if he can educate me.
Awesome.
So,
all right, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks for sticking around till the end. All the social handles from both of us are below. I'll see you in the next one.